Well, that would explain a lot.
Eric, Julia, if you guys can put your cameras on and unmute for a minute, that would be great. This is an interactive class, so we want to make sure that we are able to interact with each other and you guys can hear me. So if you could turn your microphones on at least. Like I said, if you're not interested in putting the camera on, because you're at home and comfortable, that's okay too. But I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to interact. In Zoom, it's very, very difficult to interact. We want to make sure we're taking advantage of it as much as possible. So let's introduce ourselves really quick. I'm Brian. I'm currently the team leader, the TL for Keller Williams right now. Used to be the broker out here for the Wausau office for 6 or 7 years. Just handed that over to Cora. I'm a licensed instructor and I've been a realtor for 25 years. And then we have Sharon. Sharon's a really good friend of mine. I'm also the PC director, which is our productivity coaching program that we have. And Sharon is coming in to help me and be part of the productivity director as well. We're going to share that role so that we have twice as much opportunity to help you guys out. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Sharon.
Okay, I'll come in here in the camera, so say hi to Zoom people world too.
Hi, guys. So hi, I'm Sharon. I've been in the business for 11 years and I was seated right where you guys are right now. I took Ignite 11 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom and it was quite the transition because we had just moved to Wasilla. Gosh, moved in September and I got licensed in May. So I just celebrated my 11-year anniversary. Knew nobody, had zero contacts, and took Ignite and it propelled my career. I wasn't trying to, I accidentally tripped into this and it was supposed to be a part-time thing, totally. But I did everything they told me to do. My first year of business, I listened to my PC coach and built my business through open houses. And because of that, and again, I wasn't trying to make money. This was just a part-time gig because I was a stay-at-home mom homeschooling my kids. And I ended up closing 18 deals my first year of business and became Rookie of the Year. It was a total surprise because I was sitting at the gala and they're like, Sharon Shaw, Rookie of the Year. I'm like, I literally, my face was like, what? And so it totally shifted my mindset from what the heck am I doing here and I can't do this to, wow, I did it. So that's what we want to do, is to encourage you all, be your support network.
Okay, so real quick, she's very modest. Okay, Sharon Shaw is a multi-year top producing independent agent. Okay, she's also a cultural icon award winner, which means she's a great person as well. And that's really who we're looking for in this company, is people who are good at real estate and also good at being people, right? We do a lot of volunteering and things like that. We just did Red Day. These guys shoveled rocks and we would help take care of CCS out here and Head Start in Anchorage. And we'll talk about what Red Day is, but it's a day of giving back within our company all across the world. So we're looking for people who, are looking to have a great real estate career, people who want to be able to work with other wonderful people, and people who want to give back to the community. I talk a lot about the fact that all of our money comes from the community and we owe it to the community to give back. So that's one of the things that Keller Williams tries really hard. We try to do things to give back. So that's who we're looking for, to kind of round out our company at all times. People come and go in real estate. So we're always looking for those who are willing to give back to the community and be a great business owner, right? Anybody can have a real estate license. It's different to be a good real estate business owner, right? So that's what we're looking for. So that's what we're gonna help train you on today, okay?
Should we move into intros? So
Yeah, that's next. So you guys go ahead and let me know who you are.
I'm Kelly from Huron.
Yep.
I am brand new to real estate. I have 5 girls and they're finally all in school, so I can focus on something else.
Yeah.
My husband's in the military. We're here for good now, which is amazing.
Welcome.
Fantastic.
I'm Arian Herglotz. I've been a Realtor for 21 years now. I started out at Northern Trust. And I've been to several, Jack White. I've been here before too, with the Barb Huntley team years back. And a long story short, I just took some time away because I had younger kids at the time. Now they're older. We're ministers, my husband and I at our church. And I just thought, you know what, I need to get back into doing something because I keep my license. So I'm like, why am I not using my license?
For sure,
And because of the changes,
sure.
I haven't sold for probably 2 years, done a deal maybe 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, my gosh, I don't even know, I don't even know what's going on. So,
So other than the details, it's exactly the same as before. Gotta get to know people, gotta get to like people, they've gotta get to like you, and then you gotta have the knowledge of what it takes to close a deal. The details are a little different, but it's the same job.
I like what you said too about contacts.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking even on the way over here, even the basics of that, I don't even have my contacts anymore, so anyway,
We got lots of good systems for you on that.
yeah.
Brian's retiring military, doing skill bridge up here, just got my license, trying to figure it out as we go.
Welcome.
Pretty much the same, except I'm not retiring, still just active duty, pretty new.
Wonderful, welcome. And
What
we've
else?
got Rachel.
Hoping on recording on my first deal today,
Yeah,
Yay.
and you've been licensed for how long?
about a month and a half, 2 months.
Fantastic,
Excellent.
fantastic. Introduce yourself.
I'm Rachel Warren. I have been, with Keller Williams for a little over 6 months. I'm on a team. I am licensed. I've had my license for about 3 years now. I started over at Jack White and I was just in referral helping my husband with property management and decided that I wanted to do the sales side of things. So an opportunity came on Matthew St. John's team. So I'm his director of operations. I'm working the admin side of things, but have been able to do some referrals, which has been great. And yeah, so I'm happy to be here and to see what else I can learn.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Eric, are you there?
I am sorry, I'm working from a tablet.
Yeah, no
Hi.
problem. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
My name's Eric Davis. I have been up here for about 3 years, and I am 5.5 months from retiring from the Air Force, and figured I wanted to get into real estate before I joined the military, but never did, and figured why not give it a shot.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Welcome. So did we lose Julia somehow? Looks like we lost her somehow. Maybe she'll come back. That's okay. All right, so let's get rolling here because we do have a lot to go over today. I'm gonna let Sharon teach the class mostly today, so I'll just kind of be here to help. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. This is very important for you guys in your business. And I hope you guys through today will realize the importance of learning. Keller Williams is by far the #1 leader in education and real estate. So hopefully you'll learn some resources today on how you can take advantage of being at Keller Williams and all the resources that you have. And Ignite is a big one, okay? So we're gonna be having teachers teaching throughout the course. It's gonna be most of our top producing agents that will teach each different section. So you guys will have a chance to meet and learn from a lot of the different top producing agents within the company, which is also really nice. I will tell you that real estate is a business of relationships. So any way I can help you build some relationships now, it's gonna be helpful for you guys moving forward, okay? So Sharon, take it away.
Okay, thank you. All right. Let's make sure we're where we need to be.
What's going on here?
So let's talk about our schedule and what you can expect. I know you've probably seen what we posted and it's like session 1, session 2, and we're bouncing back and forth. Oh, thanks. Between the Valley and Anchorage. So this is giving you kind of like that snapshot of what it would look like. And it's basically, we have a morning session and an afternoon session. So our morning session here, let me move this little block here too. And then actually I might have you drive this if I need it. So morning session, afternoon session, the only change that you might see is on Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to take a break for our stakeholder meeting. And then you might not see any like, let me make sure I did this all correctly. Yeah, so you won't see anything like, lunch break or anything. We're gonna just work right through lunch. But we do have sponsors, bringing lunch. So there are people who are bringing lunch and they'll talk a little bit. So we'll have a little bit of like a break for you to just grab lunch, eat, and, a little bit of housekeeping too. So this is just for your information. So the only day really is Tuesday that will be ending a little later. We'll be ending at 2 instead of 1:30. Okay? But every day it'll be Monday and Wednesday, we're here in the Valley, Tuesday, Thursday, we're in Anchorage. And then obviously it's offered on Zoom. We'll be recording this to make it available. So in the rare event that you're unavailable, then we'll go from there. Does everybody have a copy of this? And then we'll also be posting it, online to kind of mention, you know, what you can expect, what sessions we'll be going through. And so we have 20 sessions. Kind of like what Brian said, we're going to be covering, actually go through this.
I'm not sure where we lost her.
Okay. All right, so we have basically like 4 modules, 20 sessions. So we're gonna be talking about becoming the real estate expert, lead generation, lead follow-up, and transactions. So basically, like the first 4 sessions, we'll be talking about why you're the real estate expert of choice. Okay, and really talking about the company and really your value that you're going to set forth. Lead generation, that's going to be sessions like 5 through 9. Lead follow-up will be sessions 10 through 13, and the transaction portion of it will be 14 through 20. We have some really, really great facilitators that are going to be coming in to talk to you all. People with wonderful experience. Some of them have actually been some of my mentors when I was going through this, and I took classes with them, and I thought, wow, so you're in for a treat with a lot of these people, and it's going to give you different perspectives, different personalities, and I will be at every class to help guide. So if you all have questions, you have a team of people to help you through this. Okay, so let's see, what else do we got going on?
Also leave some homework, guys.
Yes, there is homework. Can you shrink that a little bit so we can talk about?
I'm trying to, I was trying to like finish talking so I can get it out there.
I think if we,
Don't wanna do that.
there, and then that little. Side, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, super. So this kind of gives you the breakdown of what you can expect and the titles of each. And then we'll be getting you material as well. Brian, we're probably gonna hand that out this week, correct?
The what?
The binders and everything. Oh, you got, oh, you guys have a, holy moly, he was fast. He was like stealthy and got it out to you guys already. Okay, super. So, keep going. So yeah, so here are some of the classes. Here we're starting at Spark Your Career. This afternoon, Lance Davis is coming in and he'll be teaching Embrace Your Job. I'm really excited for you to meet Lance. He's a veteran and he's been in this industry for a long time. And I learned a lot from him, and he encouraged me a lot when I was a newbie, when I was like, I have what it takes. He's like, yes, you're a job. So it was great. But anyway, so then he'll help with embrace your job, and then tomorrow we'll cover the other two modules, connect with your market and define your value. So that's where we're at. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, so this kind of gives you an outline of where we're going. So we're going to talk about a new way of thinking. Because oftentimes when we come into this industry, whether it's from the military or a 9-to-5 job, or we're coming from being a stay-at-home mom, wherever you're at, you have a different kind of mindset. Usually like, well, great, well, I have a 9-to-5 job, somebody tells me what to do. This really gets you moving forward independently. This is giving you tools, and we're going to help you think of possibility and big thinking, get into that mindset. We'll talk about KW culture. That's really one of the big reasons why I joined the company. I interviewed companies before, brokerages before choosing and settling on one. I love the education. I love the core beliefs. And really, that's why I've stayed, because it's become kind of like a KW camaraderie, family, clan, whatever you want to call it. It's basically been fantastic. So then we'll talk about KW value and the value of our market center. You really have a team working behind you to help you. All you have to do is ask and reach out for help. And then we'll talk about your career vision, setting that goal. What's your trajectory? What's your why? And then we'll also talk about a daily success system. We'll touch on it, but then we'll really get into it tomorrow. That's the homework that we're talking about. Because it's one thing to be learning based and sit here and like learn and have somebody lecture to you. It's another thing to get out into the field and go do. Okay. And then we'll go over recaps, any ahas. So I do want to make note of this. Like if anything just stands out and you're like, gosh, I didn't even think of that, or that's an aha moment, write it down. Because sometimes those little notes help. Okay. So here's this quote. Can someone read this for me? Anybody?
Anyone can do it, not everyone will. Will you?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and that's such a true statement. This is a business where you have to be a go-getter. You have to take action, and it starts with the belief system. And this is by Gary Keller. He is the founder of Keller Williams. Fantastic speaker. And there's a podcast that I highly recommend that you listen to. And it is part of the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast. And he's on there. There's talks. It's really not always about business. Sometimes it has to do with mindset. It has to do with I think one of my favorite podcasts that I actually listen of his, it's like, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So really tap into that if you can. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to jump into the 6 personal perspectives. This really helps set a baseline for mindset for where are we going. And this is like the key points for mastery of success and that mindset and all of these key perspectives. Something I'm just going to be touching on these. The nice thing is we are actually having education, 6 personal perspectives. We have a guest speaker coming up from the lower 48, June 17th, and she'll be giving a more in-depth class. So if you like those deep dives, I highly recommend the class. We're debating whether it's going to be here in Wasilla. It may actually be in Wasilla or in Anchorage. So we'll certainly let you know. But that's a class that I definitely think everyone should take, especially mindset. Mindset's everything.
I'm sorry, what's it called again?
It's called Six Personal
Oh,
Perspectives.
6, okay, thank you.
Mhm, absolutely. So these are the ways successful people who've come before us think and approach problems or challenges. It's about the mindset of success. And I kind of want to read this a little bit. This says, these came about from Gary Keller's researching successful people in all fields. And he asked this question, what's the difference? What is that? What is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? So I think that's fascinating. If we're actually asking the experts, the people who succeed, like what's the secret sauce? This is basically what it is. So from the answers, he discovered these common perspectives and they work in unison. They don't stand alone and they work most effectively in the order shown. Okay? So we'll go into the first one. So commit to self-mastery. Know your goals. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals.
I'm sorry, is all this in here? Should we be, okay?
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Real estate will definitely reveal your weaknesses. How are you showing up? What scares you? What aren't you doing? How are you reacting or what choices are you making? So that part, but then also know, I like to think of them as your superpowers. What's your superpower? So I'll use mine. Mine is I love to educate and guide people. That to me is like, I love the psychology of people. And so to be able to relate to them and know what's important to you. And I don't have to have all of the answers. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know all the answers. That's okay. I'll say, that's a great question. Let me get back to you. And I'll be like, Brian, help, and that's what I did my first year of business. So I just want like pick on a few of you, like what's your superpower? What do you feel like you're really good at?
Kind of like just figuring stuff out, like looking at stuff, like looking at a problem, like think of
Problem solving. And that's what we are. I like the term someone used before. It says we're the highest paid problem solvers. That's really what real estate is. There's a problem, great. Let's try to find a solution. What's your superpower?
I would say like connecting people, filling in the gap, making sure like the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted.
So you're very detail oriented. So yeah, that's beautiful. How about you?
Curiosity,
Curiosity.
wanting to know all the things and like you said, we're figuring things out.
So being curious is super important in real estate.
Yeah.
Especially when we're interacting with people. If there's an issue or they come up with a front, then staying curious, ask more questions. Tell me more about that. Yeah, I love that.
I think I'm missing part of my,
Oh, Brian, can you help out with this? Which part of her?
what's that, and then it starts with 7 after.
Tell me your superpower.
I think people can tell that I really care about them. Once I get in a relationship with them, I love people. And I think, you know how it is with, you're working with someone so long that I feel they know that I really care about them. I start to like really love them. Look them. Feel them.
They really definitely get a sense of it.
Mhm.
And how about you in the back?
I think Main Street, I'm able to fighters on and get it done at all costs, no matter what.
So you're focused.
Bullheadedness, yeah.
Good. And that's a big strength because oftentimes, we can be butterflies in real estate. But if you're hyper focused and you're task oriented, that's a big strength as well. So good. All right, let's keep going. Okay, the next one is committing to the 80-20 principle. So the idea is that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results. It may be one of the most powerful principles you can apply to your life. It's about getting the most from your time and effort, and it's also about maximizing your results. Basically, 20% is described as your big rocks. Those are like the big rocks. And then your one thing or your dollar productive activities. So that's really, really where you're hyper focused and can be very task oriented, like knock those out and everything else will fall into place. Okay, and then that's where the results show up. So what you guess is the most dollar productive activity in real estate for a real estate licensing?
Fishing.
Fishing, that's part of it. Fishing for what?
Clients.
Clients, lead generating. Absolutely. That is your number one job. That's your 20%. If you're not doing that, you're not building business. Otherwise, you'll be doing the roller coaster. You'll be building business so hyper focused on the tasks instead of continuing to fish. And so you'll like eat, starve, you know? That's a really big exaggeration. And it's true. And we've all done it. And don't do what we do. We're telling you to continue to move forward with that. Okay, so here we go. And so moving from E to P, so here we have the entrepreneurial approach, doing what comes naturally, you know? So you're hitting the ceiling of achievement. That's the line that's across. Okay, and then there's certain like emotions that are focused with it: disappointment, resignation, greener pastures, distraction, right? Is this getting too hard? Maybe this isn't for me. And then the cycle continues like, oh, I gotta leave. Then it goes down and you just not breaking through that ceiling of achievement.
So I would say the biggest thing for a realtor is realizing that there are long-term goals like lead generation that have to happen continually, that don't give you the instant gratification of tasks. Okay, we're in a world of Facebook, we're in a world of bling and something exciting happens, right? So we've gone down the road of we naturally like to accomplish a task, right? And so many people get tied up in the tasks and they don't do the number one thing, which is building your pipeline, the lead gen. You'll see a lot of people in real estate, they'll scurry around all day long and they look super busy, but they're never on the phone and they're always in the office, okay? If you're never on the phone and you're always in the office, you are not building your business. That's why we will talk about leverage. Like Rachel is a perfect example of leverage. Rachel does a lot of the tasks that can be done by Rachel so that Matt can be out building up the business and talking to his clients. Because Matt can't build his business if he's doing the tasks that Rachel does, right? It's really great to go, I got this checklist of things to do, bing, 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 oh, I got so much done today. But then you end up in that roller coaster because as you're focusing on tasks, your lead generating comes down. And then you have to get to closing all your deals and then you go, crap, I don't have any closings. It's gonna be 2 or 3 months before I have another deal. You start ramping up your lead gen until you get enough tasks. Then you stop your lead gen and then you start doing your tasks and then you plummet back down to the bottom. So that's what we talk about entrepreneurial is that you get what's coming your way naturally and you spend all your time doing the things and you feel overwhelmed by activity, but you're not building that tomorrow's success. One thing I tell a lot of people in our PC program and in Ignite, you will not feel pain today. You'll feel the pain of today in 2 months. That's something that really gets agents is it doesn't hurt at all to say, I'm not going to work today. You won't feel that one single bit. You do that enough times in 2 months, you're going to go, well, I wonder why I'm not looking at any deals. What's going on? And if you come in my office and say, I don't know why I'm not closing any deals, I'm gonna ask you, well, what were you doing 2 months ago? Oh, well, I was on vacation and I was doing this and I was camping and I was having lots of fun. Well, there's your answer. You weren't working and building those leads and doing your 20% then, now you feel it. Right? So that entrepreneurial mindset it will kill your business. Right?
You're probably already gonna cover this, but
Mhm.
just telling the people something that I learned that I just wanna tell you, follow up on your people once you close your deal, cause
Yeah.
that's where I used to make a lot of error.
Yeah.
I would just wanna get it done, cause by the time it's finally there, I was like over it, and ready to be on to the next one. And I didn't follow up on my people. So then later you find out, oh, I'm buying a house. I'm like, oh, they didn't call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they forgot about me.
Yeah, you know what's my number one pet peeve when I was the broker sitting behind the front desk up there? How often that I hear somebody come in, and Coco's a wonderful person. You guys will all learn to love Coco. She's amazing. They come in, clients come in and they say, I got this check. And she says, okay, who's it go to? And they go, I don't know. Well, what's your realtor's name? I'm not really sure. It's a Karen or a Steve or a Fred. I'm not sure who it is, but I just need to drop this check off. Right, well, that is somebody else's client. Just not right this minute.
Wow.
That's because you haven't built that relationship. If you're gonna be successful in real estate, once you're going, your biggest, Sharon knows this, I know this, your biggest source of leads will become referrals and return business if you're doing it right. That's why Ignite's so important for you guys, is because you don't have the ability to do like Sharon and I. Sharon and I could not lead gen for 3 months and we'd still close deals just from the stuff that we've already done in the past. Not nearly as much as we should or we want to. But you guys haven't had that chance to build that return business, so that's why Ignite's so important, because we're gonna show you all the different ways to build that pipeline when you don't have the ability to go, hey, somebody's gonna call me probably tomorrow anyways to ask me to sell their home, right? Now, in 5 years, that's what we hope is going on, but between now and 5 years, there's a lot of work that has to be done to get there. You earn the right to have repeat return business, right? Go ahead.
That's good.
Okay, perfect. And so this just emphasizes the reason to have like systems and models in place. Okay. And then the fourth part of the 6 personal perspectives is being learning based. And that's exactly what you guys are doing here right now. You're being learning based. So eat up the education, because saying that you don't know, staying curious will help you. So attending the classes will absolutely help you ignite your business. Okay. Okay. So I'm neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. Great. I love being curious, especially like if you're hitting resistance with a client, stay curious. Rather than, well, I'll resist back and I'll push back harder. No, if we stay curious, we might learn something on the motivation of who we're dealing with in life. So practice at home, even before you practice on your clients. Curious, tell me more about that.
Being a
So,
good listener,
yeah,
being a good listener is the most valuable thing you could be in real estate.
Mhm.
And new agents make that mistake the most because they're trying so hard to bring value because they're uncertain of their value. So they're constantly talking, trying to tell the client why they need to be working with them.
Yeah.
And that can become an issue. If you can sit down and say, tell me about yourself, tell me about your goals, tell me about what you're gonna do, what you need from me, how I can help you, allow them the chance to talk and then answer those questions, you're gonna save yourself a lot of time.
I love that. Absolutely. All right, the 5th one is remove your limiting beliefs. Now really think about that. Like what is stopping you? Where are you at? What's holding you back? And then here's some examples that I'll just read out loud. And are any of these thoughts in your head? I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin business. I'm not valid yet. Another limiting belief, I don't know how I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. Or I don't feel comfortable talking to people about real estate. That was mine. I used to be like, I don't want to sound like a car salesman. That I didn't want to do that. And I heard people in the same room with me lead generating, and I'm like, they've got it all put together. Who am I? And it's more than that. So be staying is so much more than that. Or the business will come to me naturally. I don't need lead generation. That's a funny one. That one, I'll say that I had that come later in business. And I'm like, it'll just come to me through osmosis. I'll be magnetic. And I'm like, this is after being in business, 7 years probably. And, that doesn't last. It doesn't. If you're not doing the tasks in hand, the work, like Brian said, it may help, but it's not going to get you where you want to be. So you got to clear your mind of these limiting beliefs and really think about when they do come up, maybe counter it with, is this really going to take me to my goal? Being really focused on what you're doing. Okay, so there's actually an activity in the participants guide. It's called it's actually called Reframe Limiting Beliefs. And I'm not sure what page that would be on. Let's see, maybe you guys can open it up. Are you there? What page is that on? 1.8? Yeah, turn to 1.8. Thanks, guys. I wish I should have probably made notes in here on what page that would be in.
You want one of their books?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thanks, Brian.
So what are some limiting beliefs? You guys are all either new or rejuvenating your career in real estate. What are some limiting beliefs you have right now?
This isn't gonna pay my bills next month.
What's that?
This isn't gonna pay my bills next month.
Well, that's not a limiting belief, that's reality. Okay, what's the limiting belief that causes you to say, will I do that? Okay, go ahead, Luke.
I would just say cause I am very new, I just bought my first house, so I just went through the process myself with that. So I know stuff, but I think I get discouraged talking to older people about real estate.
Okay.
And much with me, because they probably know more than I do.
Okay.
So it's I'm supposed to be, they hire to do the job, but they know more than me, so why would they hire me? So I'm still in that learning curve.
So why would they hire me? That's the limiting belief right there. That's the brutal one, right? We're gonna talk about that. Who else? What else?
There's so much information. I don't know enough.
Mm-hmm.
There's, do I have enough time to learn everything?
Nope.
No,
Because you don't need to know everything.
yeah.
That's the point. It's not the everything that matters. Okay? Let me tell you something that I learned over and over through my career. And this is how I do business. And how you do business is who you're going to be attracting your clients with, right? Matt and I have been working for a little while. Welcome to the game, Matt. Matt Lemons is one of our producing agents. And I'm working with Matt. Go ahead, Matt. Working with Matt on building his business around what he likes to do so that he has clients. He likes to hunt and fish like me. So getting clients involved in his world that like to hunt and fish too gives him an excuse to say, hey, hope you don't mind, but I'm going to go hunting and fishing. You try and do that with somebody who's not interested in hunting and fishing. That's a harder conversation. So we're trying to build his life around what he likes to do with his family. So we can build his business that's similar to him so that he can then do the things that are the most important to him, which is go out and do fun stuff with his family, right? So here's the thing that I'm going to tell you. When I'm ready to buy something or pay somebody to do something for me, if I like you, not so concerned about how much you know. If I don't like you, I don't care if you are the most experienced person on the face of the earth, you will not get my money. Okay? So the limiting belief is, why would they work with me if I don't have all of these stuff, or I don't know all of the things, am I going to get to learn them? Neither of those things is nearly as important as being a good person who is relatively skilled, who is gonna take the time to make sure that they understand that you're there for them. So if you can master that, we can get you the answers for any question that you have. And when somebody comes to you and says, Luke, what are you gonna do to sell my house? Or Luke, what do I do with this very specific item? If you go, you know what, that's a good question. But I work at Keller Williams and I work with a guy named Matt St. John, and I got a really great broker named Cora, and I got my team leader, Brian, and we've got combined about 180 years of experience. Don't worry, any question that you have, I'm gonna help you get that answer no matter what, and we'll get back to you on that with an answer. Okay? That's the good thing about being in a company like Keller Williams. And then that gives you, because you know what is the worst? Someone that BS's you about things that they don't know because they want you to think that they know everything. I can see through that from 100 miles away. Don't give me some BS answer. I would much rather have you say, that's a good question, I don't know. But guess what? I've got the resources to get you that answer and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So that's that unlimited. Right? We all have limiting beliefs. And a lot of it is around, I don't know enough. We all were new agents. Sharon was a new agent. I was a new agent. We all made it through it. Most of us through grit. But you'll get through it too. So don't be too concerned about not knowing everything. Okay?
So I was just gonna say, pick one of those limiting beliefs on that page and reframe them.
Yeah.
Pick one and just write something down to reframe what that would look like. And just take a moment for that. Like, for example, I have to be an expert and I know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. You can change it to, I'm eager and confident to start my business now and learn along the way. So that's a good way to reframe that limiting belief.
What else? Give me some other limiting beliefs. Matt, tell me one of your limiting beliefs. You've been in long enough, you probably got a string of them.
Probably, let's see. Think on that. The not knowing enough. I probably thought about a lot. And saying, I don't know, I'll figure out the answer has always been a great go-to answer. In respect, not everybody can know everything about anything. So. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's been a good one.
Yeah. And I remember feeling that exact same way too, like my first year in business and I was helping an older couple as well. And I'm like, oh, but they were so kind. We think that people aren't going to be patient with us and kind. They just want to know that you're taking care of them. That's exactly what you need to do. It's just, we're taking care of them. That's what ultimately, I want to know that you care enough to find out or to educate me along the way. Okay, great. So, in order to like succeed, you gotta release this fear of failure, you know, any of the limiting beliefs, rejection even. Mine was rejection. Just let that go. Because ultimately, I think there's always this thought of people are going to come into your world, the ones that are meant to be. The meant to work with you will work with you. And those who aren't, well, they're meant for somebody else. It's not ever about us. We remove ourselves out of the equation. It's always about serving. We're of servitude. Okay? Right. So happiness is not an individual sport. So it's not. And tell me more about that. What do you guys think about this quote? You agree or disagree with it? You would agree?
Yeah, I think, connection, community is what we're made for each other. And so having that connection and community is what brings a lot of happiness into our lives.
Absolutely.
Anybody else got any limiting beliefs that's been beating you down for the last couple weeks? What you got?
Okay, I'm gonna be totally honest with this.
Yeah.
Because, and it's not negative, but this goes through my head. I know the effort that this takes, because I've done it before. And I never liked the competitive nature,
Mhm,
and that was always a thing for me.
mhm.
I couldn't stand it. I'm telling you this because I wanna know, what is the solution or there's the answer? I couldn't stand it, that feeling of like, I have to fight this other person for this deal, especially with people we knew, you know, like in lead generation. And that was always hard for me, you know, that feeling of like, okay, oh, I won, or I didn't win. And then that feeling of like, seriously, like resentment, you know, like, well, how come this, and I thought, all right, I'm doing this again, and how am I gonna deal with this?
Yeah.
You wanna know what the answer is?
I
20%. It's in your 20%. Lead gen. Lead gen, lead gen, lead gen. Because the answer is, if you have one lead and you don't get it, you're crushed. You have
Right,
15 leads and you don't get one of them, on to the next.
yeah,
Okay, so we'll keep going back to this. Because lead gen is the last thing that people do and the first thing they're supposed to do. If you're building leads, doesn't matter. Okay, because like I said, when you don't have enough leads, that's when that resentment comes in. That's where that hurt comes in. That's where oh my gosh, now what am I gonna do to pay my leads? Cause Luke, or pay for my mortgage because Luke just took my lead. Move on to the next one.
And I have something to add to that. Something that really helped me is don't compare my insides to somebody else's outsides.
mhm,
Keep your eyes on your own paper.
mhm,
If you're competing for a client and someone is interviewing other licensees, be confident in what you have to offer, and maybe if they don't choose you, you're not their flavor of ice cream.
yeah, that's good. Thank you, that's good.
Or if you're competing in a multiple offer situation and you're like, your job is to work for your client. Period. Keep your eyes on your paper. Your focus is on your client. It's not on what Joe Schmo is doing somewhere else. It is what is your focus? Because if your focus is this way, where's your client? Over here, you're not focused on your client, you're focused on somebody else. So ultimately, we have to remember why we're doing this, what is our worth, and walking in integrity and truth in what we do.
Mhm,
That's it,
That's a good answer.
okay?
The best part of real estate is also the worst part of real estate, right?
Yeah,
Best part of real estate is if you succeed, there's no one to blame but yourself. If you fail, there's no one to blame but yourself. You know, a lot of people, oh, I'm leaving, I'm gonna move to a different brokerage. Because somehow that new logo on my business card is gonna make all the difference in the world. It's not. Keller Williams has a lot of resources, but I promise you, if you're gonna be a great realtor at Keller Williams, you would be a great realtor at Century 21. You would be a great realtor at Remax. Whatever brand you wanna put on it, you will be great. If you're not going to be great, it doesn't matter what brand or logo that you have. It's the small differences that come from it, like culture, like, coaching, like, camaraderie and the training. Those small things that go along with being in a company do show itself over time, but that's not what's going to make or break your business. It's all up to you.
That's what I was gonna say, a big limiting belief is your responsibility. Like,
Yeah.
I'm responsible for how this goes, and so that often has kept me more in a, like, not a leader position, but in a secondary one.
So here's the question that I would have for you on that. If something comes your way that affects your client, are you always gonna do the right thing?
I mean, I certainly would try to, yes, absolutely.
Then you're good.
Yeah.
Limiting beliefs gone, right? Because you're always gonna be trying to do the right thing for your client. It may not always work out for your client, but as long as you're always trying to do the right thing, you're gonna be just fine. The most scary thing in the world is a realtor who has to pay their own mortgage because they're not paying for they're not paying attention to their clients and what their needs are. You're pushing your client to a closing that maybe they shouldn't go to because you need that closing to pay your mortgage. How do you solve that? Lead gen, right?
We're gonna get a t-shirt, Legion.
That's one of my limiting factors. There's like years and years been in the military. I've got a bunch of people that I know and whatever. None of them are here,
Sure.
right? And so like, obviously you still use that to reach out every day, but like, I guess building that rapport here is like something that like. So,
I'm totally there.
But in that regard, you have connections everywhere.
Yep.
Hey, if you know somebody moving up here, give them my name, send them my way, let me have their information. So that's gonna work to your benefit.
And by the way, can you get paid from somebody buying a house in Kentucky?
yeah.
100% you can.
Yeah.
Or get a referral. You can get a referral. My favorite money in the world. Okay, I give you a number. 5 minutes of my time. They close, you write me a couple $1,000 check. No limit, no liability, no work, no nothing. Give me those every time. There are companies that run their entire model off of, they don't sell real estate. They do lead gens for referrals.
A lot of people don't know that. Like I talked to my aunt in Pittsburgh, you know, and she was like, oh yeah, we went through KW, you know, when we sold Nanny's house, my grandma, when she passed. And I was like, yeah, I was like, did you know that, we can, like, you know anybody? You can refer them to me. And she's like, really? I had no idea that.
I'll
how
find
that
you a
works." I
great
said, "Yeah,
agent."
that I can find an agent for them in Pittsburgh. And she's like, oh, okay. So it was just one person in my family that I talked to that had no idea that referrals or how they work or, you know. And she's like, well, if I know somebody that wants to sell, I'll let you know and you can help them find an agent. Like, cool, thanks.
So another big limiting belief I think that everybody has in their brain, but they don't always think to say it is, people don't want to hear from me. They don't want to hear from me. Yes, they do. They do. You know what they don't want to hear? They don't want to hear, hi, my name is Brian Sherburne. I'm a Keller Williams agent. Do you know anybody looking to buy or sell real estate in the next 6 months? Nobody wants to hear that crap. That's not how you lead gen either. When you call and you have a normal conversation with somebody and then you end it with, by the way, if, you know, it's great talking to you. If you know anybody that needs any help, please let me know. That's how you do it.
Yes.
Okay? They do want to hear from you. Most of them haven't heard from you for a while. You know what they don't want? They don't want to have a sales conversation.
Right.
It can be part of the conversation, but they don't want a sales conversation. So they do want to hear from you. Just gotta be the right way. Does that make sense? Go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to just close on this too and just say that success doesn't happen alone. Like, you have a team of people to help you, to help support you along the way. And to just close the chapter on limiting beliefs. If you have a limiting belief and it's just nagging at you, come talk to Brian or I. He'll tell you lead gen, I'll tell you something else. We'll help you work through it. Because sometimes you need to be able to speak it, to be able to hear whether the truth or the lie in those words. Okay, because we all still have it. I still have it after 11 years being in the business. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. And, you know, and this is why having a mentor or a coach, having someone help walk you through your mindset to success will help you, okay? I wanted to go back because I also wanted to talk about being accountable. And your attitude will help with everything. With everything, and being accountable to yourself, to your client, to your coach will help you walk through this. So when life happens, reality shows up. So I think you should have this in your book. It's on page 1.9. And then what are some ways that you can be accountable right now? Give me a couple examples. We can just popcorn this. Any ideas?
Showing up for class.
Yes, showing up for class. And who are you being accountable to by doing that?
Yourself.
How else can we be accountable?
Well, one thing, asking questions, would that be right? Like, and this sounds crazy to even hear myself say this, but because I haven't sold for a couple of years and I knew all the changes,
Yeah.
that was a limiting, where I was literally afraid to even have somebody. There were people that asked me, about real estate, but I didn't grab because I thought, I don't know how to do real estate right now. This is terrible when I hear myself say it, because I didn't want to ask.
So
Isn't that
thank you for
crazy?
being, no, and it's normal. And thank you for being vulnerable. That's a vulnerable share. And thank you for being authentic. That's what, this is that safe space for being authentic, like has happened to me where I've avoided because I didn't know and are we self-sabotaging? So thank you for having the courage to say it, and that helps others who might feel the same way.
Well, one benefit, thanks for saying that, I feel better already. So one of the good things too, though, is knowing, like, even in the first, hour, that now I'm thinking to myself, okay, so now these people, now I can come and say, to you guys, and say, okay, I have these 5 deals. Where's my forms? How do I even do this again?
Absolutely. It's okay not to know. We all are learning continually. I'm still learning. There's so much to know. Okay, cool. So we're gonna move on. Because I want to make sure. Okay, I want to just briefly pause. Any ahas, anything that's like jumped out at you, like, wow, like this was good information.
Just like speaking on the self-doubt and the way she was saying about, I'm not sure, and having that confirmation, like you can do this, right? We're all here to help you is amazing.
And here's the other thing. Every single one of us was where you are.
Yes.
When I have people come in and say, oh, this new agent, this new agent, that, I say, yes, let's stop. You were a terrible new agent at one point too. We all were. The difference is we've had time and we've had help. So you can't do anything about the time, but you certainly could do something about the help. So instead of complaining about the new agents, why don't you help them? Because you wouldn't be who you are without somebody taking the time to help you.
That's very good.
Right? We all have to learn from somebody. Some of us just had to take a little bit more stubborn approach, right? Moose meat and rice for the 900th time in a row is a great motivator to learn, right? But we all have to get over that hump of learning, and we all have to get over that hump of self-doubt. But if any of you guys got a little bit of Brian in you, that is, if someone else can do it, there's no reason that I can't do it. I just
Right.
need the time and the learning.
Right.
But the other thing that's nice about Ignite is we're gonna introduce you to a lot of these high producing agents in our company. They're all just normal people. They're all wonderful. None of us are geniuses that come up with the newest, coolest thing that nobody else knows about. That's not a thing in real estate, let's just be honest. We just learned something and we've done it over and over and over again to see the time of production, right? So nobody's special, nobody's overly gifted. Some maybe a little bit more or less likable, I guess, that would maybe some of the things that makes a little bit of a difference. But the reality is we're all just people doing the same thing. So if someone else can do it, there's no reason that you can't. And then just building your business around what you like. That's the key.
All right, so we're gonna stay on task, and I just wanna talk a little bit about housekeeping. If you all need to hit the restroom or get up and stretch or whatever, please do so.
Where is that?
The restroom is right back
Oh.
here, just right around the corner, and then, the women's room is across from the men's. So, okay, cool, so we're gonna keep moving forward here. All right, so next we're gonna talk about culture. This is one that I really like. I love everything. I love the heart of KW. And so KW Culture, we're gonna be talking about the MVVP, which stands for Mission, Vision, Values, Beliefs, and Perspective. We have Red Day, which we just had this past Thursday and was quite successful. We have some rock star people who showed up. KW Cares, that's really the heart of KW Culture. This is kind of it is a nonprofit organization where we collect money and help others. So for instance, if we had one of our KW associates who passed away and we're able to help his family, or if somebody's sick and in the hospital, we're able to take from these funds and help them out. So it's donation based. Oftentimes I, we'll just mark on our commission form that we'll donate, a certain amount with every commission. It's optional, but it's a really great way to give back because we never know when it'll be us. We'll need the help. And then there's the KW Kids Can, and then diversity, equity, and inclusion, and then cultural ambassadors. Brian, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so, Red Day again is the day that we get together. Mo Anderson is one of our founders in our company, and instead of asking for money and presents and all the things that everybody gets that they don't really need on their birthday, she's asked for the entire company to give back for one day of year. So on her birthday, every second Thursday of every year in May. We did ours a little bit different because we did CCS and they had some federal inspectors, so we did it the following week, which was last week. But every year, the entire company worldwide gets together and donates their time for the day. One of the big things about being at Keller Williams that I really like, is that they're interested in giving back. So KW Cares, we have a local AK Cares and the national AK Cares. KW Cares helps for big natural disasters. The last several large natural disasters that we have, KW is one of the first people to show up on site when we have hurricanes and fires and things like that, because we're extremely mobile and we have cash on hand. So we are one of the first people that shows up every time there's a natural disaster. And we're there to support our agents. So anybody that loses their house and things, we have a fund that's together to help them. AK Cares goes to locals, our local agents here, and it's a completely separate fund. But I can tell you that it's made a big impact for nationwide at KW Cares and our local AK Cares. And it all comes from us being generous and donating part of our money to make sure that there's money available when people go through tough times. So a super big part of KW that I really appreciate. And then the Kids Can is about promoting children and getting them up and running and getting them looking forward to careers and things like that as well. And then the other ones are pretty much self-explanatory, although cultural ambassadors. The nice thing about Keller Williams is that we're a national company. So speaking about one of our regional and national directors, Matt sitting behind you, who just sat down with us, is one of our military. What's your technical role?
I'm the KW Military Community Director for the whole thing.
Yeah. So the nice thing about Keller Williams is there's lots of opportunities. There's many, many different avenues of working at Keller Williams, being realtors, being transaction coordinators, being administrators. You can go to work for the region. There are all different kinds of avenues of moving forward with Keller Williams. And the other nice thing about Keller Williams is we all use the same platform, which is Command. So if you're here at Keller Williams and then you move to Texas, you're going to work the same exact program and the same job in Texas as you do here. No matter where you go, you're all using the same platform. So being a part of a big national company, it definitely has its benefits otherwise. So yeah, lots of great things that the company puts together, but ultimately it's to let people know that, like I said, we get everything from the community and it's important that we, have a mindset of giving back. So we've got lots of opportunities to do that. Go ahead, Sheila.
Cool. All right. So then, so we're gonna just cover our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. Today we'll be covering mission and beliefs. So our mission is to build careers worth having. Businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. So which one stands out to you, or do all of them stand out to you?
And the last one was just recently added.
Yeah,
Do any of you guys have questions about what it does really even mean? Lives worth living, experience worth giving, legacies worth leaving?
because ultimately, I like to think of it as you're creating a business, you're making money, and what good can that money do for you and for your community, for your family, your goals? Can, as you grow, begin to create more time with your family, have experiences that you haven't had before? Can you work anywhere? For me, that's important. I love the mobility of being a licensee. I love the fact that I could be in Costa Rica and at a yoga retreat and negotiate a deal from there. I did it.
Or
Last
in the
month.
middle of nowhere hunting camp?
Yeah, right.
Be able to
Do you
throw
have a
out an iron.
Starlink or
That's like
something?
the thumb at DocuSign.
It's like, it's amazing. So it's like, what are you doing for you? And what do you dream of? And this is the vehicle to get you there. Where else, where else can you take time off and really make your own schedule?
Yeah, what other job can completely ruin your vacations? You know what I'm saying?
Well, sort of, but
But the
you have
ability to do it.
leverage. You can
Yeah.
have leverage. I think that's important. So anyway.
I say that completely jokingly,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The other one that's not on this that I really like is one of the sayings that Keller Williams really pushes hard is money's good for the good that money can do. Okay? At a certain point, I promise you, if you're successful in real estate, money will not be the motivation. It will not. For the first couple of years while you're paying bills and you're buying four-wheelers and, you know, a new car and all the things that make you think it's gonna make you happy, you'll get to the point where you just really run out of stuff to buy and ways to waste your money. And then it's gonna come down to, okay, now what can I actually do with this money? Like, what can really be done with this money? And again, helping people will ultimately be your motivator in real estate, or you will not be a realtor for very long. Because the money will stop losing its excitement. And then it comes down to, okay, now what do you do? I can make a lot more money just selling real estate full-time than I do by teaching, being the PC coach, by being the team leader. I've been really fortunate to make plenty of money through my career in 25 years in real estate. I don't care about money anymore. I would love, this gives me so much more pleasure to help you guys learn and know that in 25 years, you guys might be where I am than any closing has ever given me, with the exception of the happiness that I get out of helping somebody close the deal. Helping a single mom get a home for the first time that didn't think, you know, those are the motivators that will keep you in real estate. Eventually, the money just gets pointless. And so you gotta learn what it is that wants to give you that motivation. So money's good for the good that money can do is something that will ring in your head down the road, for sure.
And then legacies worth leaving. We're giving you the tools to set up your systems. And I'm telling you, pay attention to this part. Set up your business in an organized way, using the systems that you're being taught. Otherwise, if you're just going through the motions and you don't have these systems in place, you have a messy business. If you have systems in place and everything else and a nice clientele and a great database, right? Then later, maybe in 10, 15 years or whatever, whenever you're like, I'm done being in real estate, you can sell the business. You can sell your database. If it's making money and you can see that it is a healthy database that you've kept up, and we're teaching you the way to do it correctly, then that's the legacy that you're leaving. You're now creating passive income potentially by selling your business later. All right,
Or give it to your children
yeah,
and let them become realtors. I don't have any in this room, but we have some pretty darn successful children of realtors who are now the owners of the companies and are running the companies.
mhm,
You know, I think they realize that, there's not a lot of jobs. You can go to school for a long time to get a job that doesn't pay you nearly what you can make as a realtor. There's a lot of people who have real fancy degrees that are realtors.
Right? Okay, so this is the KW belief system, and we have it posted here as well, but we'll take a look at it. And this one, we call it the Y4C2Ts. So if you're like colorisms, you'll hear like a lot of this. But that's what we call it for short. Win-win or no deal. Let's have somebody else read the next one.
You're standing up, go for it.
Where we at?
You volunteered.
Women,
Number
integrity.
2.
Yeah, integrity. Go, can you read integrity?
Yeah, do the right thing,
Excellent.
especially when no one's looking.
Yes,
Next.
that's an always thing, right?
Okay, customers always come first.
Mm-hmm.
Commitment in all things.
Communication, seek first to understand.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Creativity, ideas before results.
Teamwork, together, everyone achieves more.
Right.
T, trust starts with honesty. It's a big one.
Yeah. Equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people.
So this is updated. As you see, there's one missing. Right, and that's the equity. Equity has been added to this. So equity is the newest of what the Y4C2Ts, okay?
Yeah, and so, yeah, it was passed in 1968. The Fair Housing Act made it illegal to discriminate concerning the sale of rental or financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, color, gender identity, and sexual orientation. This law was expanded to prohibit discrimination based on disability or family status in 1988. So that's where that comes in. Okay,
And we are one of the most diverse companies in the country. We win awards for it all the time.
absolutely. Okay, so yeah, we did touch on this already, so let's keep going. Any thoughts?
Can I ask you before we go further?
Yeah.
What does, if there's a simple answer to this, what do all the numbers mean? All these combinations of numbers?
What do you mean?
Like W14C2TS, why is it?
There are
all
4
this?
C's. So
The
W, I, there's
Y,
4 C's.
4
Okay.
C's, 2 T's.
And an S. That's a great question, though.
Okay,
So it's,
okay.
but it doesn't help me to remember necessarily, but.
So the WI, Y, the 4 T's, 4 C's is C,
Right,
and then
I
the
get
2
it.
T's.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we got a lot of those kinds of things in
Yes.
Keller Williams
Mhm.
that you'll learn. We call them Kellerisms, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
But I think the one that you'll probably hear the most, is gonna be the win-win or no deal. Cause that's how we negotiate, right? We're here to look for an outcome for everyone. Is everyone gonna be 100% happy in negotiations? It's not how it works. Right? But can it still be a win-win without everybody being 100% happy? It absolutely can. So when we talk about negotiations and how we're gonna negotiate, the goal is to make sure that both parties come out on top. And that's an easy way. If you're looking to win, no matter what, you're gonna have a long haul in this business. You're going to have a long haul. There are certain people in this business that wanna win at all costs, and that's just not gonna work for you very long. It's a very small community, and if that's your attitude, it's very easy to get a not great name. So you've been in the business, Matt's been in the business, Matt's been in the business, Sharon's been in the business. For those of us who have been in the business, how many of you could, without, please don't do it, we don't need the names, but how many of you could name a person that you get a call from them and you go, oh God, I
yeah,
don't wanna talk to this person.
Let it go
Yeah.
voicemail.
Yes, right? Okay, so that comes from an attitude of win at all costs, not win-win or no deal. Right? Can I ask you guys this? Do you feel that that hurts their clients?
Oh, yeah, totally.
100%.
Cause if I have to do a deal with them, I'm going to overdo it to
Yeah.
make sure my clients don't get screwed.
Right? And the simple fact of you send them to voicemail, okay? Somebody, you got a great property. This other agent that nobody wants to talk to calls Matt, he lets it go to voicemail. hopefully, since I've been his boss for a little while, he answers my call. And I say, I'm ready to go. Does my client now have an advantage over that person who went to voicemail because they're a pain in the butt? 100%. Now, when we both submit an offer, do you think that Matt's gonna go, by the way, we have two offers, they're identical. This agent works for a living and is a nice person to work with, and his goal is win-win or no deal. This person can't say the same for. Who do you think has an advantage? Yeah, absolutely. Another thing I say is your clients of tomorrow might not be in the battle you want to win today. And that's not fair to them either, right? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna, because I know we breezed through them, but definitely this is a wonderful, like, thing to always reference back when you're in a challenging transaction, or you have limiting beliefs come up. Come back and reference this, because it will help you. Yeah, anyway, okay, I think that's it. We'll keep going.
We
Okay,
talked about Red Day and
Yeah.
Community Cares already, so go
we
ahead.
did, so I'm gonna keep going. So here are our awards. So we're the top franchise for veterans in 2024. Top female-friendly company, #1 real estate franchise in the US. Top franchise for women in 2025. 2024 tech trendsetter. Most profitable franchises of 2024. Best use of AI by a brokerage, and more.
Question, how many of you guys have heard the saying that in America, women that do the exact same job as men get paid less?
Yes.
Okay, if I make 3% and you make 3%, who made less? Nobody. That's why we say equity for all. Because there's nothing that stops you in real estate from being successful. Nothing. And my commission and your commission is within reason the same. So there's nothing holding you back. If you're whoever you choose to be or didn't choose to be, there's nothing that can hold you back in real estate. That's what makes it really great. If you want to be successful, there's nothing to stop you but you. Super huge. Right? And speaking of military and veterans, we have 3 people in the room right now who are coming out of the military going into real estate. It's great. We love to take care of our veterans. We love to give our veterans opportunity. We love to help our veterans find homes. We love to help our veterans sell homes. We love our veterans, especially in Alaska. We are a very veteran-heavy community, and we support our veterans as much as possible. Whether that's with helping them get their license and training, or whether that's helping them as a client or customer, helping them relocate, whatever it happens to be. Best part about being military, Brian mentioned this, he's in different places in different times and has built up a community all over the country and sometimes all over the world in the military. You have an advantage that I don't have. I've lived in Alaska my whole life. I was born at Humana, which is now Alaska Regional, when it used to be next to the dump. Right? So I don't have that network of people all over the country and all over the world that you guys get the opportunity to have as military. And my sphere of influence doesn't have to sell every 4 years, whether they like it or not. Right? So military is a great opportunity. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, cool. So we'll keep going. Okay, so we're gonna talk about some great resources. We've got training and coaching. You also have access to KW Connect and KW Connect Live. So it has a lot of information, videos that you can access from the KW website. Local and regional training. I'm part of the education committee, and we have a lot of education, like you're drinking from a fire hose. If you can attend as much as you can, please do. We have some out-of-state speakers coming up that we have planned each quarter. And then the list of education that we have coming up here in the valley and in Anchorage. And it will usually always be on Zoom, so it'll be made available to you, so you have that ability, you just have to grasp that opportunity. We have events like family reunion. Did you click back out of? I did. Family reunion and mega camp. These are very large get-togethers. Family reunion usually occurs like in February, right, Brian?
Yep.
February, and it is a huge convention, and family reunion, meaning people from lower 48, even outside of the country who are KW will come, and we have national speakers, maybe what people at a top level are doing, and it's huge. I mean, we're talking like tens of thousands of people, it feels like.
Speaking of that, the day after Ignite gets over, so June 5th from 9 to 12 in Anchorage, we got Josh Freiberg coming up from out of state, and he's gonna be teaching Beyond the Basics, Advanced Communication and Time Management for Secrets for Seasoned Agents. So I would like all of you guys to be at, that's a really good one. Josh Freiberg is a really, really good trainer that comes up and sees us about once a year. We have Business Planning Clinic coming up, we have 6 Personal Perspectives coming up, we've got lots of great national speakers, so I'd like you guys to make sure that when you have the opportunity that you get on the schedule to go to those.
Okay, so you said too, that since you took our email down and everything, is this gonna be generated like through our email, so we always know what's going on,
So
or?
we have a Google Calendar that I'll get you guys links to throughout this class, and then we have a Facebook forum that if you're not in, we want to get you on, because we put a lot of that stuff on the Facebook forum.
Mhm.
It's the easiest way to communicate with the most people in the least amount of time consistently. So the Facebook forum and the Google Calendar are gonna be your best ways. And then attending the sales meetings. Coming to the Tuesday sales meetings is very, very important to keep you up to speed on what's going on. We have tons of opportunities to learn. You can also train yourself right out of this business. Okay, because we have to balance education with closing deals, right? If we spend every minute in the classroom, you're not out there generating leads, so we have to balance that thing, right? That's why we wanted to do this class in a condensed version, so that we don't use up your summer learning.
Absolutely. All right, and then on to mega camp. It's like a more dialed in family reunion, I think of it as, right?
Yeah.
It happens usually in August. Brian's been there. Can you tell us a little bit about
So it's
it?
usually in Austin, Texas on like the 15th of August. This year, it's gonna be in San Antonio, which is really fun. Our headquarters is in Austin, Texas. Mega Camp is a big get together with all of the, used to be just mega agents, which is like 7 million plus per year, but then they opened it up for everyone. But it is it's like a week of, it's about four days of breakout sessions and training and all of the things that are available in Austin, all in one big bunch. Family reunion this year was in Las Vegas. So that was fun. Next year is gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia,
Oh,
in February.
All right. Okay, and then there's Keller Williams University, that's online. What a fantastic resource. If you're like, how do I do this? Or how do I write a golden letter? Or how do I, or you need to access information and different types of education, Ignites in there. And then there's KWU Enablement Command Training. That's where you can find the videos of like all the how-tos and really will be helpful. And then
Does
KW,
everybody know what command is before we go on?
oh,
Fantastic.
okay, good. Then KW Maps, that's coaching. So that's coaching at a high level. KW Maps offers Bold, which is kind of like, wow. And Bold is kind of like, boot camp for lead generating. And it involves a maps coach coming down here from out of state and guiding us through that. So it definitely is, it will challenge you. And it really, after I did Ignite, I signed up immediately for Bold, and that helped to jumpstart really what
my career was.
Just to give you an idea,
Mhm.
for Bold, they do what's called a Bold 100.
Oh, yeah.
That means you have to have 100 real estate conversations in a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like personally challenging yourself, and for someone who felt like, how am I gonna talk to 100 people? It's possible. It's possible. You just don't realize how many people you just run into, like you go to the coffee shop or you're in line at the grocery store. There's so many different places you
Have
can.
you done Bold, Matt?
I did COVID bowls,
COVID Bold.
yeah,
Oh, that was
Weird.
different.
it was very weird.
Well, COVID, everything
Look,
was,
I was gonna do this year, they canceled it.
yeah.
other Matt, have you done Bold? You did Bold, yeah?
Day one.
Yeah.
Or step one or whatever.
Just step one.
Okay, yeah. So I did Bold several times. So then when Bold comes back, sign up for it. You'll see some people will do it multiple times. Because you're at a different place in your business. Okay, so let's see. So we'll go right into,
Both worth doing. I provide us like what do you call it, I like sponsor one ticket every time it comes up for somebody.
Bold is great.
Yeah.
Bold, even if you've taken it before, it's like a kick in the pants.
Scholarship, that's the word.
oh yeah,
I do a scholarship for somebody every year that they do it.
Bold is like a kick in the pants. It is there to make you get uncomfortable. It's there to make you learn that, rejection's not such a bad thing. And if you can get rejected 100 times in a day, 50 or 60 a day is no problem. You know what I mean?
all right, so then going into technology. So basically Command is your database of names and contact information, your goal tracker, your task manager, your marketing suite, and your referral network. So it's all of that in one. And everyone has had an opportunity to explore Command, so, okay. Great, and then you guys are aware of the Command app. Do you guys have it installed in your phones? Okay, use this at a high, you can use this at a high level. It's an excellent tool. And it's integrated with your Command platform, so you have everything right there. And you can even take notes on your conversations with clients. You can pull up neighborhood searches and share that, like you're at an open house, and you can share your contact information, share your app with people. Sometimes that's very helpful as well. Brian, do you have anything to add regarding the app?
I love the app. Matt, do you use the app? Either Matt, do you use the app?
I used the old clunky app, I didn't realize that the update looked good.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
So there's a couple really cool things in the app that most people don't realize. One is it's got a QR to share all your contact information really easy. Just go ping here, go ahead, snap this for me. There's some really cool value calculations in there. You can go in there and have your client sign up and they could see a rough idea of what their house is worth and what they owe. It's called an equity calculator. Super easy and really nice. The app, they can search for homes. One thing that's kind of cool about our app that a lot of other apps don't have is that if you want to be in a specific area, say you have a child that goes to a specific school, or you go to the grocery store many times, your client can get on there and sign up for the app, and you can set designated areas, and when they're looking for homes, it'll say, this house is 4 minutes from Walmart. This app is this property is 6 minutes from your child's school. So there's some pretty cool features within the app that you can use. And then, like I said, you can allow them the opportunity to search for homes in your app instead of going on Zillow, where everybody tends to go. The other great thing about our app as opposed to Zillow is there's not a whole bunch of garbage listings and stuff on there that don't even exist because it is not there to sell the leads, which is what Zillow is for. Zillow is not one of the, richest companies on the planet because they do everything for free. What they do is they sell that lead to someone else. So it's a great little app.
okay, so this is just very general information regarding market center value and language of real estate. We call it lore. We actually have numbers that are more specific to our company that we'll get you later. But basically, these numbers talk about like the closed units, closed volume, listings taken by volume. And we even have these numbers individually for you individually, if you're curious about tracking your success. It's also in KW and we can help you look into that. And then here's our market center value. You know, we talked about KW Cares and Red Day. Leadership, our OP is Matt Dimick, our operating principal. Team leader is Brian. Market center admin is Madeline. She's based out of Anchorage. And our market center technology trainer is KT. And we have our ALC members, and when we take Ignite to Anchorage when Thursday, oh, it's this Thursday.
Yep.
This Thursday, we're gonna do a meet and greet with the ALC. And we'll have, burgers and hot dogs or something. My husband's coming to help cook. And then, so then you'll meet the ALC members. We have Rochelle Killian, Kelsey Dukakis, Kevin Sigafus, Dar Walden, Marty Pepper, well, Marty's in Soldotna.
Yep.
Taylor Holfeld. Taylor Holfeld and I started in real estate. We were both in Ignite together. Helen Bridier, Amanda Charles, she's here. Excellent resource, by the way. Amanda's also on the education committee. So she heads the education committee that I'm on. Wendy Brinkhurst, Kira Dreher. Kira Dreher was my mentor. When I first started in real estate, one of my many mentors. And then Matthew St. John, he's right here. And then we've got Stephanie Gamble, who's also here in this office.
I did her very first open house with her.
Oh, wonderful.
Stephanie.
So our leadership council is a top 20% of our company. Where they're a council that when I need to ask questions or make decisions as a team leader, we take it to the ALC and get their opinion, and they help us to make decisions. So that way you don't just got one crazy Brian making all the decisions for us. We have to do it as a council. So it's a great resource. Most companies are run by one or two people, and whatever decision they make, that's what it ends up being. Here we use the ALC to give us multiple sources of feedback to help us make our decisions.
Okay. So, Brian, we have maybe less than 15 minutes, so I'm gonna run through.
Want me to rip them?
Yep. Brian's gonna get us
Okay.
through a lot of it, but some of it we'll be able to touch through too.
Yep, so, profit share, let's talk about profit share a little bit, so, we're not gonna talk too much about profit share. But as you are working here at Keller Williams, you're able to, recommend folks to come in. And, one of the things we do at Keller Williams is half of the profit that the company makes is given back to the associates as profit share. So if you bring someone in, the profit share tree and it becomes passive income, there's no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, and no phone calls that need to be made. So that as you're going through your career, and we close transactions and make profit, you'll receive what's called a profit share check. Okay? We're gonna skip past, ahas. So KW companies. So we have Keller Williams Worldwide, we have Keller Williams International, we have Keller Mortgage, which is now Mutual of Omaha. We have Keller Managed, Keller Covered, and Keller Offers. The last three we don't really use in Alaska a whole lot. We just don't. But they can help you with all of these things, planning and searching, negotiating mortgage, all of these different ideas of how you can get resources through them. And Mutual of Omaha has a program to help buyers as well and give them sometimes rebates, but we don't do that in Alaska. The communities that we have, diversity, equity, and inclusion, KW Commercial, KW Land, KW Luxury, KW Military, which is what Matt does, KW New Homes, which is new construction, sports and entertainment. We don't really have the sports and entertainment world in Alaska. Just be honest, we don't have any like professional teams to really have much of that going on. We don't have a lot of actors that live here. But it's an opportunity. And then KWYP Young Professionals. So these are different communities that you can join to give you an edge on these type of things. Like if you want to be heavy in the military, you can join KW Military and Work with Matt, he can give you lots and lots and lots of extra resources associated with helping military. So your vision. Okay, so I want you guys to think about this. A year from now, your business is thriving, your life is everything you've dreamed of, your customers rave about the experience and value that you provide and think of you as when they think of real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You're helping others live their dream of owning a home because you're focused on helping them get what they desire. You're building a foundation of momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experience and the income you desire. You're a top agent in your market center, rookie of the year. If you're new, you're poised to hire a part-time assistant, handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. You're on the path to what? Lives worth living? Legacies worth leaving? All of the things we talked about, right? So let's talk about big life, okay? You can, if you make 364,000, what could you do with it? What could you do with that? How would that change your life? If you made $360,000 a year, roughly, what would you do with it?
Yeah.
Pay off your house? Absolutely. Pay off someone else's house? I don't know, just depends. Right, maybe you have parents that need to pay off your house. What would you do with it? Lance, give me an example of some of the things that you've been able to do with your income that you probably wouldn't be able to do if you weren't a realtor.
Income properties, I've had some pretty amazing, fun memories with my family and with vacations, and also I'm not worried about paying for my daughter's going to college here this coming fall, because it's already
Problem solved.
done.
Yep, absolutely. You don't have to build up a ton of debt. You can pay off your debt, right? There's lots of different things you can do. To exceed success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. Your big why. Does anybody know what big why means? What's big why? What's your big why? What makes you get up every morning? What's your motivation in life to do better? Okay, and once you know your big why, you go back to that every time to make sure that you have that motivation day to day. So that when you get up and you go, oh man, I don't want to go to the gym today. What's your big why? Well, the big why is you want to be healthy. You want to be there for your family longer. You want to be able to be around, right? That's your big why. Just because you want to go to the gym is not going to get you there. It's the big why that says, even though I don't want to go to the gym today, if I'm healthier for my family and I can be there for them longer, now I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, so learning your big why is huge in real estate. Next thing we're going to talk about is where your commission dollars go. Some of it goes to the other agent. Okay, some of it goes to the market center. Some of it goes towards your business expenses, towards your taxes. You get a little bit to take home, right? Okay, so an income example. If you wanted to have a net income of 100, but you got a 70-30 split, you got a $30,000 company dollar, okay? Then you got business expenses. So in order to do that, you actually got to make 180 to go home with 100, okay? And your average commission is $9,000. That means you need to do 20 deals, okay? And this this tax one is one that you always want to not forget about, because tax is pretty brutal. You got to make sure you're paying attention to that, okay? So sitting down and figuring out how much money you need and using actual numbers. A lot of people that are new, they get a $5,000 check and they're like, woohoo, I'm going to buy a car. Slow down, guys, right? That $5,000 is not really $5,000, especially if you haven't closed a deal in a couple months and you're not ready to close another one for a couple of months. That $5,000 gets spread pretty lean over 6 months. Okay, I had an agent come to me and say, I closed 6 deals and I'm feeling great. I'm going to buy a Lexus. Okay, hold on. Before you go buy a Lexus, let's chat. When's the last deal you closed? 2 months ago. Okay, how many pendings do you have? Well, I closed them all. Eesh. Okay, so that means you don't have another one for a couple months. So that 6 deals gets spread out over 5 months, so you just barely closed over 1 deal a month. Slow down with the Lexus. Okay? Be careful with how you calculate that money. Okay? So I want you guys to do that. I want you guys to sit down and say, I need this much money. And then figure out how many deals you need to close. Okay? Take your company dollar split. Don't forget to pay Uncle Sam. You gotta put a little bit of money away. There's a nice spreadsheet in there for you guys to figure it out. I want you guys tonight to figure out how much money you wanna make and how many deals that's gonna require you to do in order to get there. Okay, that's homework for tonight. Okay? Daily success systems. We're gonna talk about this really quick, okay? Here's what I need you guys to start doing. Every day, I need you to have 10 conversations. I need you to add 10 contacts. I'd like you to do 10 handwritten notes. The handwritten notes ones aren't quite as important, but it's just a way for you to do something besides phone calls, okay? A 10-5-1 social media engagement, we'll talk about that in a second, and any enrichments. Enrichments are like, go to an open house. Go do something that involves real estate that's not just lead gen. Okay, take a training class. This is gonna be in your book too, okay? 10 conversations, 10 contacts added, 10 written notes, and I'm gonna be checking with you every day to make sure that you're doing your job. And here's the deal, in real estate, nobody's going to make you do anything. What's gonna make the difference of whether you survive or not is where you do the things regardless. Okay? So we'll talk about the 10-5-1 social media engagement in a second. The next thing, please, please, please watch the do not call list. We can't just randomly cold call people anymore. You can get yourself in trouble. So use the National Registry of Do Not Call list to make sure that before you start calling people, you don't get yourself fined. Okay? Powerful conversations get results. Lead generate, uncover motivations, identify objections, close deals, speak in terms the customer understands, and build your confidence. Okay, we're learning now so that you can get through the awkward now at a high level so that you get it over with and you get comfortable sooner rather than later. That's where these conversations come from. Conversations are hard until you learn that conversations aren't that hard. It's like procrastinate. Who likes to procrastinate? Is it worse thinking about what you have to do? How many of you guys procrastinate, finally do it, and you're like, well, crap, that wasn't hard. Should have done that 2 months ago, and I wouldn't have had to think about it for 2 months while I was dreading it. Okay, let's get through the awkward, and let's get to the success, okay? Did you find everything you were looking for? Go ahead and look around, and please let me know if I can help. I see you admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for the big game this weekend? Right? Find their motivations and figure out how you can match what they need with what you can provide. Okay? Sphere. How many of you guys know what a sphere is? Sphere? Does everybody know sphere? You better know what a sphere is. You guys should all know what a sphere is. Okay? Your sphere is your people that are in your world currently now. Okay? And I need you guys to get in the habit of adding those people as contacts every day. You've already had 10 people in your world today that you could add to your database. Are they necessarily going to get you business right this second? No, but could they also help you with your business? Yes. So everyone you meet is a contact that should be in your database. So that's why I say adding 10 is not that hard. We're going to be introducing you to lenders, inspectors, brokers, team leaders. Get them in your contacts and get them in your sphere or in your database. Okay. Catch a sphere on the move. Every 7 to 10 years, people move. Okay. The question is, if you meet somebody here right after they moved, what's the likelihood they're going to buy a house here? Not very good, right? Till they get down here and then they start working their way back towards the move. This is the sweet spot. Okay, This is where we wanna meet them in. But is this a bad lead? No, they're just not here yet. So the trick is getting them in your world anywhere here, but making sure that you're still in their world here. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's consistency. That's having them in your sphere, that's staying in contact with them, that's having that conversation. How are you doing? How have you been? By the way. Right? Forward, how many of you guys know what forward is? How many of you guys know what the forward method is? All right, I like the two in the back. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. How many of you guys hate to talk about any of these things? We all like to talk about these things. This is our world. So let's talk about something that you enjoy, and then we'll talk about the things that'll help both of us moving forward. Okay? People love to talk about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and their dreams. Okay? Is this an easy conversation to start? How's your family? How's your job? What have you been doing for fun? What do you want to do? It's an easy, super easy conversation. So if you keep that forward in your mind and you're having those conversations about the things that they like, and you have a good conversation, then it's easy to throw in there. And by the way, if you got anybody that needs any help, let me know. But if the conversation is, my name's Brian Sherburne, I'm with Keller Williams Realty, last group, I'm looking to know if you know anybody where I sell real estate in the next 6 months. It's brutal. It's brutal for them and it's brutal for you. Okay, we don't want those conversations. People say, let's do script training. Stop. Okay, for me, stop the scripts. Conversation training is very valuable. But if I sound like I'm reading from the manual and I would like to know how to do it, nobody wants that. Okay, learn conversations. Some of that involves the scripts to know what the conversations and how to work the conversation in the right direction. But we want to learn how to conversate, not how to be scripty. Okay. How has your thinking changed? And what ideas or mindsets were new? This first module of command or of Ignite is a lot about just getting your mindset right. We're gonna, as we go, get into a lot more technical stuff. But this one is to get you guys opened up and your mind working in the right direction. And making sure that you're thinking about the things that aren't just A to Z on how you do things from here to here to here. Okay, and to let you know, I promise you, any limiting beliefs that you have, we have all had them. Okay, we just are too stubborn to let them beat us. So we're still here. Right? You want to find somebody really stubborn? Find an agent that's been in the business for 25 years. And that's why they're still here. Okay? Flexible, but stubborn and consistent. Okay? So, how's your thinking changed? Anybody? Go ahead. How's your thinking changed today? With just this quick little 2-hour session, how's your, give me something that maybe has changed in your mind. And everybody smile. How's your, come on, let's go. Just interactive class.
I would say like, just being new and not knowing a lot, not being scared to like, just start the conversation, and if they ask me something I don't know, be like, somebody in my team knows, so I can get you the answer, like. Just don't be scared of not knowing, because we have a building full of people who know the answer.
So for me, for you as a team member, or you as a team member at Keller Williams, because we're all in the team together, that's what makes Keller Williams special. It gives you the opportunity to make this not just about you. Hey, that's great that you asked that question. I just want you to understand that when you hire me, you're hiring all kinds of resources. I'm at the #1 real estate company in the state, in the country, in the world. I promise you that we have the best agents around, and any question that you have, we've got somebody who will get you the answer. The advantage of working with me is that you have the resources of the company, not just of me. Okay, so if you have a question, Lance is the broker in Eagle River. I promise you, if you can't get a hold of Cora or me and you reach out to Lance, he's going to give you a great answer and he's going to help you. Okay, if you're in Eagle River and Lance is unavailable, you can always reach out to me or reach out to Cora, or reach out to anybody, and we're going to get you the answers that you need. So use the advantage that you have a great team, even if you're not on a quote unquote team to make sure that they understand that they have you and everything else that comes along with Keller Williams. Okay, it's a huge advantage for you as a new agent. And if you're good, they're not even gonna ask you if you're a new agent. They ask you if you're a new agent because you're going, my name is Brian Sherburne and I work at Keller Williams and I want to know if you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell real estate in the next, that is a new agent. Okay, so if you're good, they won't even ask. Okay, how do you feel differently about it and what was meaningful for you today in this first session? Interactive class, guys. That means we all get to talk.
I'll go ahead and just say, just with the things I found out, I feel way more at ease. I feel like I'm ready to do business again. I feel like I have what you're saying, like a team now, because I've done this on my own.
Yeah.
Because I, like what you said in the beginning, I got my license and it's kind of like, okay, good luck
luck.
with that. So I've always done it pretty much on my own,
That's
I
scary.
guess.
Yeah, I believe me, I know. Lance was there when he started, you know, they was just like, good luck, buddy. Hope to see you around, and if I don't, I'll happily take the listings that you don't get.
And then when I had trouble, I just asked, okay, my broker, just to stay out of jail,
Yeah.
you know, just,
So when I was coming up, you didn't go to a broker unless you were in big trouble.
right, that was it.
You avoided going to the broker at all costs. We encourage you to come to us and ask questions so that we can help you. Okay, that's one big thing about Keller Williams. Okay. How will your behaviors be different going forward and what actions will you take? Anybody? Feel like I'm out to dinner with family and everybody's on their phone. Go.
Feeling more confident about doing the things that need to be done, doing the, talking to people and getting contact information. More confident about that.
Yeah. So we'll hit back on it later on, but I'm expecting every single one of you guys tomorrow to have 10 conversations, 10 contacts, and 10 handwritten letters done. Okay? It's not the importance of those particular 10, it's the building of the habits. Because when I say 10 and you go, oh God, how am I gonna do that? Let me tell you what, bold come around and you gotta multiply that by 10. And then you'll go, well, 10 is a piece of cake, no problem. Okay? So it's just the building of the habits that's something that we do every day as we build our database and we talk to our clients, no matter what, no matter how busy we are, no matter what's going on, we're building our database and we're contacting our clients. That's the habit we're trying to build. Okay. All right, so we got some food for you here. Let's go ahead and get Lance up and running.
And let's introduce our.
And we're gonna, exactly, we're going to
All right,
introduce.
I'm gonna introduce her. This is